Well, good morning, everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and it's Monday morning, and I'm delighted to tell you it's raining. Now, the reason we like it when it's raining, because it means it's not snowing. And that's a very important part of our year. Okay, it is a balmy 4 degrees. Everybody work that one out. It's about 40, what? 40, exactly 40, yeah. It's 40 degrees Fahrenheit, for those of you who are now playing that game with us every morning. We had a fun weekend. I thoroughly enjoyed watching the Oscars last night with the peeps that came. And for those of you that did, thank you so much. It was, it's fun not to watch it on your own, am I right? You know, it's sort of like, okay, fine, well, we had a sort of room full of people watching the Oscars together. And we decided what dresses we liked, and we all decided we had not seen enough movies, I think, because I think I'd only seen one of the movies that was up for an Oscar. And there were quite a few people who said they hadn't seen any of them. So we felt that we were a little out of touch in terms of our ability to judge which movie should have made it to the top. And the interesting thing was, to me, is that the Academy gave what, 6, 7 Oscars to Gravity for everything you can think of except Picture of the Year. And it was almost like, right, we're going to give you all these Oscars, but we're not going to give you the movie of the year. And conversely, they gave very few, if any. I can't remember if they gave any. Yes, they did. Supporting actress, for sure. Anyway, to 20 Years a Slave, and yet it won Picture of the Year. Go figure. But luckily, that's why I live in British Columbia and I don't get the voting sheet for the Oscars. You know what I mean? But you have to look at it and go, the people who vote on the Oscars are the actors, I believe. Those are the members of the Academy. And so, you know, the actors, the directors, and so forth. So I think each category, you know, has its own group of people that vote on it, sort of thing. I don't know how it works. So, but it's always a spectacle, and it's always, you know, pretty good entertainment. Ellen was hysterical. Ellen broke Twitter. We loved that. Yeah, Ellen decided that she would do a selfie, and she was going to do a selfie with Meryl Streep. That was how it started. And then she was calling, you know, all sorts of different actors in to join in, and it ended up with Brad Pitt in there, with Angelina Jolie. They had oh God, I can't remember them all now, but you know, there were like a dozen of them. You've probably seen the selfie by now. But then Ellen, being Ellen, said, okay, now I'm going to tweet it, and let's retweet it, and let's make it the most retweeted picture ever. Well, within minutes, this thing had crashed Twitter. It was like, you want us to do that for you, Ellen? We can do that. And even I immediately went to go and retweet it. Except Twitter was broken at that point. But I must admit, all credit to Twitter, because they got it up and running again pretty darn quickly. And the last I saw, that was over 2 million retweets that happened on that thing. And I'm sure it's probably a lot more than that this morning. I didn't look at it this morning. Not looking at much this morning. I was pretty tired. So, fun. She did a lot of things that I thought were fun. So, and sometimes, and I think this is what I like most about Ellen, is sometimes just being normal is funnier than jokes. You know, the way she was sort of going, "Are you guys hungry yet?" and brought in pizza for them. I mean, that was, to me, funnier than a lot of sort of jokes they could have come up with. So, good for her. I was very, very, very touched by that. But she always looks like she's having fun. You know what I mean? She's a fun person. I was looking at some of the hosts that they've had over the years for the Oscar, and those that have done it, you know, more than once. Because the ones that only got asked to do it once, we don't really need those. But it was interesting that Ellen has only done it twice. That surprised me. I got a feeling she'll be doing it again. She's sort of current, in my view. You know, she's not racy. She doesn't tell off jokes. She doesn't, you know, she's current. I thought when she started collecting money for the pizzas, Harvey Weinstein putting in $200 or something. I mean, it was just like only Ellen could collect money, you know. I thought it was cute. Anyway, so, and they could all afford it, that's for sure. Yeah, I like the way she was going to that actress that won the supporting actress and going, "You got money now." And the supporting actress, all she got in her little tiny little hand, you know, clutch thing was lip gloss. That was it. So she gave it to Ellen. Really nice stuff. Anyway, so a fun evening, and I really, really did appreciate the fact that people came, and of course, as usual, they made fun of me because I cry when I get happy with those sort of things. I don't know what it is. Emotionally, I really understand how much it takes to be a winner, if you know what I mean. How much hard work it takes to be a performer, because I've been one. And how little people understand of that. And I think somewhere in one of the clips, I can't remember who it was that said that, is, you know, everybody's, for those of us who watch, you know, we think that's Hollywood, you know, all dressed up in their tuxes and their beautiful gowns and everything else. And he said, you know, the real Hollywood is cold studios, dusty, you know, now, oh boy, that river's high today. Yikes. Ooh. Tell you, if we have much more water, we're going to be a peninsula where I live. We won't be able to get out that way. That water is just about up to the bridge. Wow. Okay, where was I? Yeah, but the real Hollywood is not nearly as glamorous as everybody sort of thinks, you know. It really is dusty stage sets and, you know, and not really a great deal of comfort. And take and retake. Who was it? One of the singers. Who was saying that, you know, you're doing a musical and you built out a song for everything you're worth, and at the end of it, the director says, "Cut, let's do that again." And it's just like, I just gave you my all. You think my vocal cords are going to be able to keep giving you that? Think again. And you know, I hadn't really thought about that, but that must be really difficult in a musical. Really difficult. And I was really glad that Brad Pitt was clean shaven and looking like his normal gorgeous self. And I didn't realize that he had been involved in 12 Years a Slave. So he learned something. We actually learned a lot. Now, I am just very concerned with the news this morning. I'm always worried about whether I should even mention the news when I do my vlogs, and you know, whether anybody really cares for my views on these things. But you know, when you hear Russia saying that Ukraine has to give up control of all its military places in the Crimea by 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, or else Russia will attack. Okay, this is so weird. They don't have the right. You know, the Crimea is officially part of the Ukraine. And the fact that Russia doesn't want that to be so is pity, because you signed a treaty to say that you would respect them. Now, the fact that they say either you do this or we attack you. Now, them's fighting words, peeps. That's not, then we'll be upset, or, you know, we will stop something other. Now, the thing that really is confusing to me is Russia's main gas lines, and there are 3 of them, to Europe and to the coast, run through the Ukraine. So, duh. I mean, it's like, I can understand why they think that the Ukraine's pretty important to them, but it doesn't give you the right to invade it. Can you imagine if the US crossed the border of Canada and surrounded a couple of our military outposts? Not that we have them there, but you know what I mean. Well, I guess we do. But you know, surrounded a couple of, and said, you know, give up by 5:30 tomorrow morning, or else we attack you. Do you think the world would be just a little bit upset about that? So it's like, what is this man Putin thinking? I mean, it is really quite difficult to understand his logic. Now, maybe I'm totally missing something here. So if any of you are political pundits and you understand this better than I do, then please correct me. But from everything I'm hearing, he does not have the right. Now the question is, what's the rest of the world going to do about it? Now, my sense is, I'm pretty sure that Russia makes quite a bit of money out of those 3 gas lines that go through the Ukraine. And sorry, obviously something's distracting me here. Anyway, so these 3 gas lines that go through the Ukraine. So part of me goes, why wouldn't we just pull the plug on those 3 gas lines? You know how much money they would not get, because they're busy supplying Europe. Now, obviously it would disrupt a lot of Europe as well, but what you do is financially cripple a lot of the Russian economy. And I think that might get his attention. from what I can gather from the little I saw this morning before I started going to work, the fact that this is going on there is already seriously affecting all the financial markets, because this will put up the cost of wheat, it'll put up the cost of so many goods. So it's a big, serious problem. And I'm hoping by the time some people get to see this, it will all be over. And it'll be a distant memory, and that we will have found a peaceful solution to it. Very, very worrying indeed. However, on a brighter note, I wonder what you achieved this weekend. I did not do well this weekend. I did not do well on exercise, and I did not do well on tidying up. I had a bit of drama going on in my household, but I just didn't get a lot done. So this is going to be a week where I start getting myself back under control again, because it is time. I'm going to put up some video from the weekend as well, just a couple of bits that I took, not much, but just a little bit. For those of you who ask after Bean, he's going to be a lot more comfortable now that this cold spell has gone, I'm sure. He's been very, you're really aware of his arthritis situation when the cold weather comes. When he gets up and he tries to stretch his back, it's very difficult for him. So he's doing fine considering, let's put it that way. And I thank you for your continued concern for him. I was a little bit concerned yesterday because I was busy broadcasting, and he came to be with me. He was at the bottom of my bed, obviously, while I was broadcasting, but he didn't eat his dinner. And I think it was more a case of that he was asleep at the bottom of the bed rather than the fact that he was sick and didn't feel like eating. But I'll get a better sense of that tonight when I get home. By the time I'd finished the broadcast, though, he had eaten, so everything was fine. Alright peeps, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll chat with you tomorrow. Hope you all have a great day. Sending you big virtual hugs. Even though it's pouring with rain, it's a beautiful day to me because it's not snowing. And therefore it's a lot less dangerous than it has been for the last couple of days. And hopefully it will wash away all the dirty snow and we'll have our town back again. If you get my drift. Alright everybody, have a great day. This is DearMamaSal saying thank you so much for watching. Bye bye for now.